Welcome to the Configuring Interfaces and Routing lesson. After completing this lesson, you will be able to achieve these objectives. Configure networking interfaces, configure FortiGate as a DHCP server, configure static routes, monitor static routes. Physical and virtual interfaces allow traffic to flow between internal networks and between the internet and internal networks. FortiGate has options to configure interfaces that can scale as your organization grows. You can configure a variety of settings on FortiGate interfaces, including alias, a name that identifies the interface for reference, IP address, the public or private IP address used to connect to the interface, administrative access, the protocols that can be used to connect to the interface for administration purposes, such as HTTPS, ping, and SSH. DHCP servers, a server that dynamically assigns IP addresses to hosts on the network connected to the interface. A DHCP server dynamically assigns IP addresses to devices on the network connected to the interface. You can configure one or more DHCP servers on any FortiGate interface. A DHCP server configuration includes address range, the range of IP addresses that FortiGate assigns to devices, net mask, the net mask of the address that FortiGate assigns to devices, default gateway, the default gateway that FortiGate assigns to devices. By default, this gateway is the same as the interface IP address. DNS server, the DNS server that FortiGate will assign to devices. By default, this is the same DNS server used by FortiGate. Static routing is the most basic way of configuring routing on a network device, including firewall devices such as FortiGate. FortiGate has a default route to its gateway to provide internet network access. Even in a more complex setup, you would likely find static routes deployed. All routes are part of the routing table, which FortiGate uses to match incoming traffic to determine where to send that traffic next. A static route includes destination. FortiGate uses the destination to match incoming traffic to the correct route. Gateway address. This is the IP address that FortiGate forwards the traffic to. Interface. This is the interface that FortiGate uses to forward traffic towards its destination. The default route tells FortiGate where to send traffic when packets do not include an exact match for the destination address in the FortiGate routing table. Usually, all the users that are behind FortiGate need a default route in order to have internet access. In the default route, the destination address is set to 0.0.0.0. The gateway address is typically the address of another router, either a device in your network that is between FortiGate and the network edge, or part of your ISP network if FortiGate is located on the network edge. Finally, the interface is the FortiGate port that connects to that router, typically the WAN interface. Every static route you create becomes part of the FortiGate configuration, and you can verify this in the GUI under Network, Static Routes. These static routes that you create will remain in the configuration until you delete them. Several conditions can prevent a configured route from being added to the routing table and, consequently, not being used to forward traffic. The most common of these conditions are the route is misconfigured, the port associated with the route is down or disabled. There is a better route to use to forward traffic to that destination. In the screen capture, you can see that there is a static route with destination 172.16.30.0/24. However, since port 6 is disabled, this route is not included in the routing table that is also shown. To display the routing table and check if an unexpected route is missing, you can go to Dashboard, Network, Static and Dynamic Routing. Checking the routing table is often one of the first steps you will take when troubleshooting network connectivity issues. Let's put these concepts into practice by completing the following lab simulation. You have completed this lesson. You are now able to configure networking interfaces, configure FortiGate as a DHCP server, configure static routes, monitor static routes.